you go back and maybe the first month or so, everything's all peachy keen, hunky-dory, and the rainbow is as bright as could be. But then once things start settling down, guess what? You go back into the same cycles. Hi everyone, welcome to The Work Within. I'm Sami Iman. Diamond is not joining us this week because she is a bit under the weather. Hopefully she'll be back next week. If you are already a part of our growing family, welcome. And if you are new to our channel, welcome. We're so glad you made it today. And keeping up with our series of getting back to you, last week we talked about healing from the past. And this week I really wanted to talk about healing from abusive relationships because I feel like that's really a big part of healing. A lot of times we hold on to how someone may have treated us in a relationship, and we carry that with us through the rest of our relationships, especially if we don't give ourselves time to heal from it. And I really felt like it was an important topic to talk about this week, considering that we are talking about healing in general. So first, let's start with what is abuse. Abuse is the improper usage or treatment of a person, animal, or thing, often to unfairly or improperly gain benefit. Abuse can come in many forms, such as physical or verbal maltreatment, injury, assault, violation, rape, unjust practices, crimes, or other forms of aggression. If you or anyone you know is being abused, please make sure that you convince them to get help or you reach out to help for them. I will leave the phone number to the domestic abuse hotline in case this is happening to any of you. As I've said, if you're able to get out, get out. If you need help, there are resources to help you. Now, getting into the topic, so one of the things that I really want to drive home is that abuse is not always physical. Most people think that way because with abuse, with physical abuse, you can see the scars, you can see the bruises, but there's also psychological abuse, which is emotional abuse, mental abuse, and all types of abuse leave lasting mental damage, essentially, that you have to go back and heal properly if you want to be able to move on from it. And moving on doesn't necessarily mean that you forget, but as we've said before, you don't hold an emotional attachment to the situation that happened. Now, in last week's video, I had started to talk about a situation in which I was abused in a relationship, but we took it out for time reasons, but I felt like this was the perfect opportunity to bring it up now. And I was one of those people who, when I would see situations where people get abused, like in movies and things of that nature, I'm like, oh, that would never happen to me because I would never allow anybody to treat me that way, and I would just leave, you know. And on the outside looking in, it's easy to say that, but when you're inside the situation, it's a lot harder to say, oh, I'm just going to leave, because one of the biggest components of emotional and mental abuse is that you get broken. And so you start making excuses, you start justifying, and you start actually believing what this person is saying to you. And through a bunch of circumstances that I don't think either one of us realized were going to happen, we ended up breaking up, which was probably the most perfect thing that we could have done. And in that time, it gave me the opportunity to start working on my healing journey. And with myself, and why I'm bringing this up is because I've always viewed my relationships differently. I've always looked at all of my relationships as learning opportunities, and I've never had a rebound, and I would never start ever having a rebound, because I understand that rebounds actually don't serve a purpose but to help you forget in that moment. But then once you realize you don't actually want to be with this person, guess what? What you were initially running from is still there. And so I always take times after all of my relationships to actually analyze understand where maybe he was at fault, where I was at fault, where I could learn, where I could grow, where I can be better when it comes to picking, people I decide to spend my time with. And this relationship wasn't any different. The only difference is that it took a lot longer for me to heal from it than some of my other relationships, because it was so emotionally damaging and so emotionally scarring that it took me a while. So one of the biggest things that I would say when it comes to healing from abusive relationships, once you are out of it, you need to create distance between you and this person. And I call it radio silence. Radio silence, 100%. Do not communicate whatsoever. Because what happens is that, say you decide to leave and they're not ready for you to leave, guess what they're going to do? They're going to keep trying. They're going to keep coming towards you. They're going to keep saying, oh baby, I miss you. I love you. We're supposed to have a life together. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And look what we're going to do. Look how cute we are together. Look how much I love you. Come back to me. And if you're entertaining these conversations, they're messing with you on an emotional level. And if you are in an emotional state, you cannot make logical decisions in a heightened emotional state. And that's just the truth of the matter. Because you're going to start feeling like, oh yeah, you're right. We did make these plans. Oh, we should probably try to work it out. And then guess what? You go back, and maybe the first month or so, everything's all peachy keen, hunky-dory, and the rainbow is as bright as could be. But then once things start settling down, guess what? You go back into the same cycles. Because if the issues that caused you to leave in the first place have not been corrected. So that's why I say you should have radio silence, no communication. No, you can't be friends as soon as you break up. Because one, you're not being fair to yourself to allow yourself time to actually heal from this relationship. And then you're also not fair to him to allow him to heal as well. And you don't have that space to be able to see where you might need to grow and where he might need to grow. And if you are still communicating with each other after you decided to leave, then where do you get the chance to heal? You don't. And then you're also allowing him to be able to manipulate your emotions and have you believe these promises that you made while you were together when everything was great, and make you believe that you should be back. And then nothing changes, and then you're repeating these cycles over and over again. So absolutely radio silence. And honestly, if you are truly in a really bad physical or psychological abusive relationship, I also say use this time to take time for yourself. Practice a lot of self-love. Practice a lot of creating your boundaries and perspectives. Like, this is the perfect time to start building up your house again, like we were talking about. Sometimes you have to rebuild. When someone comes down and knocks down all your walls, you have to rebuild. So this is the perfect time to go and do that. So start looking at things differently. Like, what are the things that caused you to be attracted to this person in the first place? What are the signs that you missed? What are the toxic traits that maybe you didn't realize that were there? And this is also a time to really get clear on the type of partner you would want in your life. Like, we're no longer in the times where we get married and we just suck it up, even if they're abusive, even if, they're not really that great of a person and everything like that. Like, the times of women sitting back and just taking it, I think those times are over. And we all deserve happiness. We all deserve greatness. We all deserve to be with a partner who loves us in the way that we would want to be loved. So, take that time when you are finally out of this situation to really get clear on the type of partner that you want. And when you do all of these things, if this person does come back and says, maybe offers you an apology, or if this person does try to pull on your heartstrings again, one, you have your boundaries set. You also know what type of partner that you want. And if he does not fall into that line, or those lines of the type of partner, the type of relationship, and the type of life that you want, then you do not give him the time of day. Can you guys be friends? Maybe. You know, it's hard to say. Everyone's relationships are different. Everyone's boundaries and the strength of their boundaries are different as well. The biggest thing that I would say is learn to be aware, check the signs. Once you're out, cut off all communication. Cut it off completely. There's no talking, there's no let's go hang out for a little while, let's go grab dinner or drinks or something like that. None of that, because you need to offer yourself time to heal. And if you are having issues with that, get your soul tribe, get your girlfriends, your family, you know, if your family is on your side, first of all, because sometimes family can push against you in these type of situations, especially if they like the person. They're like, oh, no, you need to get back with him and you just need to work it out. And, you know, but yeah, if that's not what's happening, then if it's not working out, if he's not fixing his issues, if you're not fixing your issues, if you guys are not growing together, then what's to go back to? So sometimes you can't even go to your family, and that's okay. But if you have girlfriends or your friendship group, your soul tribe, who can be there for you when you are feeling low or feeling vulnerable, lean on them. That's what they're there for, you know. If you need to talk to someone, you can always, the number that I'm going to post below in the description box, you can call them and talk to them, and they can help you. They can help you find resources to help you through this time. So make sure that you do it. And it's so important to find your strength, find your voice, and truly heal from these type of relationships. And one of the last things that I want to say too is that when I talk about abusive relationships, I'm not only talking about romantic relationship ones. The same thing goes for friends. The same thing goes for family too, because there are abusive family members, parents, and things out there. And sometimes you need to separate yourself so that you can heal and grow and be able to set up your boundaries so that you are not triggered every time you're around them, if you have to be around them. You can start to build yourself in the image that you want to be, as opposed to the image that they want you to be. And sometimes with parental abuse, there's a lot of baggage you have to clear out before you can even start to set boundaries and start to pick yourself up mentally. And it's a process, but it can be done. And I assure you, on the other side of that, it is amazing. So if you have not already, we do have a worksheet on the website, which will be linked below, where you can start walking through the process of learning how to heal from past situations. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. We love to talk to you guys. And like I said, hopefully Diamond will be back next week. Hopefully she'll get over whatever ailment is going on with her. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye.